What's up, guys? Rick here and Oliver. Can you see him? Oh, yeah. For the one and done preview for the John Deere Classic. Before we jump into that, let's look back at last week's 3M Open and chat that one through. Oh, spoiler alert, if you're watching on the video, that was the wrong page I was supposed to show you. Okay, so taking a peek at this, the most popular golfers for the 3M were Bryson DeChambeau, 396 picks, Patrick Reed, 379, Jason Day, 312. Those three guys over 300. Then the top five was rounded out by Joaquin Niemann and Victor Hovland. I don't think this is much of a surprise. It was a fairly top-heavy field. Everyone kind of went in the same direction. We'll see how those guys actually finish. So if you picked one of those guys, the one you wanted to have was Bryson. He was the most popular. He ends up going T2, earns you $585,000, I believe the number was. Victor Hovland next, T13. I believe he got you about $150,000. Patrick Reed, T23. Joaquin Niemann, also T23. And Jason Day, T66. So all of them made the cut. All earned you dollars, some more than others. Now we had, in my two lineups, we had Victor Hovland in both. So we earned $128,000. Both of our season long and our weekly lineups are very much right in the middle of the pack here, almost dead in the middle, quite honestly, for this season. But remember, we just started, the 3M Classic started segment 4. So we are now here, 3M Open, John Deere Classic, Open Championship, and actually I have the schedule here. So 3M Open, John Deere, Open Championship, WGC FedEx, Wyndham, Northern Trust, BMW Tour Championship. That's the final segment. So really, if you have not, like this is your chance to earn a lot of cash. It's also your chance to try to get back into a segment. John Deere is going to be a small purse this week. Actually, one of the smaller, that is the smallest purse on tour this year. Yeah, okay, so John Deere, $6 million, the smallest purse outside of the Desert Classic, which is 5.9 the second week of the year. Excuse me. But second smallest purse on tour. Then you're going to get two really big ones. You're going to get the Open Championship, $10.5 million. You're going to get the FedEx, which is now a WGC event, the St. Jude, 10.2, and then the three playoff events are all $9 million purses. So doing some quick math, segment 3 might be worth more, but segment 4 might be the most popular or the most combined purse of the season. So if it's making up ground time, you can do it here or try to just get yourself in position to win an actual segment. All right, what are we going to do this week? And I actually want to flip back to Gups here and pull up the totals. And this week's field, if you watch the fantasy video, the DFS video, go watch that. It kind of gives you a better breakdown of the field and the course. But what you're getting is a bunch of no-names, quite honestly. It's the three young guns, Hovland, Morikawa, Matt Wolff coming off of his first career win. And then basically either just a bunch of journeymen, guys that haven't qualified for the Open Championship. It's a really, really weak field. There are no players ranked in the top 50 of the official World Golf Rankings in this field. Pat Mayo mentioned this. Kyle Stanley is the highest ranked player in the field in terms of World Golf Ranking, which is pretty crazy. And the way that turns into one and done strategy is you can basically pick anybody you want. I was looking through this and I'm looking at it, and I need to make up ground. If I want to try to win the season long, I'm probably out of it. I need to probably catch like 6 winners in a row, but I also need to catch like 6 winners that are owned by like 50 or 100 of us. I can't play the chalk anymore. So I was scrolling through the totals, who has been owned and how often this year. And I scrolled through like the first list of names of the highest owned golfers, because I want to take someone who had been burnt already. And I scrolled through like the first 20 names. Okay, well, none of them are playing this week. And I scrolled through like the next 20 names. And outside of like Sung Jae, I guess Ryan Moore is in this field. Like 2 of the top 40 most owned guys are in this field. So I'm like, how can I be contrarian when every golfer is available? Joaquin Niemann has been used 500 times, but still a lot of availability this week. So I think that there's a couple ways that you can actually go about playing this. Because everyone is available to, every golfer is available to every owner. If you want to be a contrarian, you really have to find someone pretty far down the list or someone with some flaws. The way that I'm going to do that is a combination here. So I mentioned Ryan Moore has been burnt 690 times. I'm going to play him in my weekly lineup. So he is kind of like one of the most, so 690 of you cannot use him. And I assume the other, 2,300 of you don't have much interest in using him. And I don't really either. I'm picking him in a way to try to be a little bit of a contrarian. So here is, or I guess a big contrarian. So here's the course key stats. And what I like about Ryan Moore is I think he's missed 2 cuts in a row. He hasn't played great recently. But he still has one of the best strokes gained totals in this field, the 4th best. So the 4 guys are Glover, Sungjae, Nate Lashley, and Ryan Moore. They lead the way in average strokes gained per round. So he shows up there. He's very accurate off the tee. Now, everyone's going to be accurate off the tee this week, but I still like Ryan Moore. He's great on approaches, which this turns into a second shot course. And he's a past winner here. He is not, I think he won it 3 or 4 years ago. So he's not like he's not the defending champion, which a lot of people will jump on, but he obviously has had good success at TPC Deere Run. So I'm trying to take that combination of, I know he's a good fit for the course. His stats for the long-term season are better than his short-term. So I'm combining that with his poor play recently in hopes that I'm one of the few guys that have him, and he can go out and win this thing. My season-long lineup, which I'm actually pretty impressed with myself a little bit here. I had Joaquin Niemann marked in this spot. So we get now, remember, I did this in January. The JDC, John Deere Classic, is a spot where a lot of young guys have kind of cut their teeth, and they've come out and gotten their first win. I think we saw Jordan Spieth get his first win here. At this point, it's probably 5 or 6 years ago. Win here, and it kind of just sparks your career. It's a weaker field event, so that it tends to happen a bit more. So I plugged Joaquin Niemann in here thinking, okay, you're going to need to make a lot of birdies. And this is a good spot for a young type of player. It fit the model. So I plugged him in. Now, of course, he's been playing great the last 3 weeks. This is for the best 3-week run of his career. And he's one of the favorites to win. I think he's over $10,000 on DraftKings. He's 10,200. So consensus is pretty good that Niemann's a good play. I'm just a little proud of myself for having him back in January. So pretty cool. So that's who I'm going with. So Ryan Moore in the weekly, Joaquin Niemann in the season long. Let me know what you think about that. And if you have a shot, hey, if you're in Gup's corner, where are you at? Do you have a chance to win this thing? Are we focusing on segment 4? Are we focusing on the majors? Let me know. Tweet me. It's at DFS on demand, or leave a comment below. I'll talk to you guys. Good luck.